Here's more wrestling news for February 6, 2026. Your headlines for this afternoon include WWE Creative divided over Liv Morgan's WrestleMania opponent, truth behind Triple H and Ciampa fallout revealed, Kenny Omega's AEW Revolution appearance in doubt, AEW talent predicts Jericho will finish career in WWE, fans react after Real American Beer drops Hulk Hogan, Mr. Anderson captures JCW Gold following Matt Cardona's WWE return, Ash by Elegance makes surprise in-ring return, and more. Liv Morgan's momentum hasn't slowed down since her return at Survivor Series War Games, and now she's officially the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble winner. With that victory, she holds the golden ticket to WrestleMania 42, but despite attacking Stephanie Vaquer on Raw and posing with the Women's World Championship, Morgan has yet to make her decision official. During a recent promo segment on WWE Raw, the Miracle Kid made it clear she hasn't chosen which title she's going after. In fact, she teased appearing on this week's SmackDown before locking in her WrestleMania opponent, adding another layer of suspense to the situation. Some reports suggest Morgan could pivot and target WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill instead. However, according to PW Insider, there are creative voices within WWE who reportedly feel that Liv versus Jade may not be the best direction. Instead, there's belief that Tiffany Stratton should be positioned opposite Cargill at WrestleMania. Stratton, who had been out of action since losing the WWE Women's Championship to Jade Cargill at Saturday night's main event in November 2025, made her surprise return during the Royal Rumble. Although she didn't win the match, her presence instantly reignited unfinished business. Given the controversial nature of her loss to Cargill, a WrestleMania rematch would be a logical payoff. If that's the case, Liv Morgan choosing Jade would complicate those plans, potentially forcing WWE to adjust one of its marquee women's programs. On one side, Liv vs. Jade presents a fresh, high-profile showdown between power and resilience. On the other, Jade vs. Tiffany offers a built-in redemption story with long-term continuity. With WrestleMania 42 approaching fast, Liv Morgan's decision could reshape the entire women's division landscape. So what should she do? Should Liv go after Jade Cargill, or should WWE protect Jade vs. Tiffany for the grand stage? Sound off in the comments below. Did Triple H fall out with a former WWE star? That question started circulating after Tommaso Ciampa's booking trajectory raised eyebrows. In NXT, Ciampa was widely viewed as one of Triple H's cornerstone talents, a main event level performer who carried major storylines and championships. But once he transitioned to the main roster, his presentation shifted. He was primarily positioned in the tag team division and at times struggled for consistent television time. That contrast led to speculation that Ciampa may have been frustrated creatively and that there could have been tension behind the scenes. However, according to Fightful Select's latest Q&A, there doesn't appear to be any bad blood between the two. The report noted that Triple H was not angry when Ciampa departed and that the split was described internally as amicable. Ciampa was reportedly well-liked within WWE, and the company even kept him involved in a storyline with Ilya Dragunov until very late into his contract, a move that ensured he remained protected on his way out. While it's natural to assume disappointment when a former NXT centerpiece doesn't reach the same heights on the main roster, everything indicates this was simply business rather than personal fallout. Triple H may not want to lose talent, but departures are a part of the industry. Ciampa has since signed with AEW and wasted no time making an impact. Within weeks of his arrival in Tony Khan's promotion, he captured singles gold, instantly re-establishing himself as a top-tier player. Do you think Ciampa should have been positioned differently on WWE's main roster? Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Kenny Omega may be one of the biggest crossover stars in wrestling and gaming, but his schedule is creating a serious collision course. According to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, Omega is committed to appearing at Capcom Cup 12 in Tokyo during the same weekend as AEW Revolution. The 5-day Street Fighter VI tournament runs from March 11th through 15th and features a $1 million grand prize, making it one of the most prestigious events in the fighting game world. AEW Revolution, meanwhile, is set for Sunday, March 15th in Los Angeles. Omega is already advertised for meet and greet appearances on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in Japan, and the Capcom Cup finals traditionally take place on the final day, March 15th, the exact same day as Revolution. That overlap is where things get complicated. Yes, there is roughly a 10-hour direct flight from Tokyo to Los Angeles, and the time difference technically works in Omega's favor, but cutting it that close would mean an international flight with almost no margin for delays, travel fatigue, or logistical hiccups. It would be a tight, high-risk turnaround for anyone, let alone someone expected to perform at a pay-per-view level. At this point, it's unclear whether Omega will leave Japan early, attempt a same-day flight to make Revolution, or potentially miss the AEW event altogether. With Revolution typically positioned as one of AEW's marquee shows of the year, his status could significantly impact the card. Omega has long balanced his love for gaming with his wrestling career, but this time, the calendar may force a decision. Jim Ross may have missed the mark on predicting a Royal Rumble return for Chris Jericho, but that hasn't shaken his belief about where Jericho's career will ultimately come full circle. Speaking on Grilling JR, Ross made it clear that while he doesn't have insider information, his instinct tells him that Jericho's final chapter will be written in WWE. Not for money, not for headlines, but for closure. He'll be there, I'm assuming. Assumptions here. I'm assuming he'll be in the lineup sooner than later, because at his age and experience level, what are his other options if he wants to stay on TV and in the business and make a good buck? In JR's view, Jericho returning to WWE simply makes sense for a veteran looking to wrap up an all-time career on the biggest stage possible. And if that does happen, Ross acknowledged the impact it would have on AEW. That's a big loss for AEW. Jericho's a major player. He's part of the foundation, the fabric of AEW. Jericho wasn't just another signing when AEW launched, he was the first world champion and a central pillar of the company's early credibility. Losing him, especially to WWE, would be symbolic as much as strategic. What surprised Ross most, however, is how quiet the situation has been. I'm impressed with the tight-lipped nature of this proposition. I'm really impressed that the word has not got out. It's also worth remembering that Ross, alongside Jerry Briscoe, played a key role in helping bring Jericho into WWE back in the late 1990s. That history adds another layer to JR's belief that Jericho's journey may eventually circle back to where he became a global star. For now, Jericho remains active in AEW, and there's been no official indication of a WWE return. But if JR's instincts are right, fans may want to prepare for one final run under the bright lights of WWE. Do you think Chris Jericho should finish his career in WWE, or is his legacy stronger staying with AEW? Hulk Hogan may be gone, but the conversation around his legacy is far from over, especially after Real American Beer rolled out a major brand overhaul this week. On February 4th, the company announced on X that it had officially rebranded after surpassing 10 million cans sold. The refresh includes a new logo, updated taglines, and a redesigned look that marks a new era for the product line. However, one particular change inside that redesign quickly grabbed attention. The standard packaging will no longer feature Hogan's image moving forward. Even though Real American Beer is still running a limited-time golden ticket promotion, offering fans a chance to win $5,000 and a 12-pack signed by Hogan, many supporters viewed the update as a surprising move. For them, Hogan wasn't just attached to the brand, he helped define it. The reaction on social media was immediate and vocal, with fans questioning the decision and expressing disappointment over the shift in direction. According to TMZ, the company may still release special edition Hulk cans in the future, similar to its previous tribute-themed runs, but as it stands, the primary product line is moving ahead with a new visual identity. For some fans, it's simply a business decision. For others, it feels like the end of another piece of Hulkamania. The Elegance brand celebrated Ash by Elegance's return to the ring after nearly 4 months. It was a big moment for her, as many believed her career might have been over. That hiatus officially ended tonight. The February 5th episode of TNA Impact on AMC delivered an eventful show, including a high-profile 6-woman tag team match featuring the Elegance brand. As they made their entrance, the group went full Breaking Bad. They wore yellow suits reminiscent of Walter White, complete with playful nods and quotes from the show. The stable even carried small baggies of Heisenberg's famous blue meth, though it's safe to assume it wasn't the real thing. With TNA now airing on AMC, the original home of Breaking Bad, and recent tapings held in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the theme felt like a deliberate and creative crossover. It gave the Elegance brand the perfect opportunity to lean into the cosplay concept. Heather by Elegance, M by Elegance, and Ash by Elegance faced Indy Hartwell, Zaya Brookside, and TNA Knockouts champion Lei Ying Lee in the 6-woman tag bout. The match carried added stakes, as Hartwell and the Angel Warriors were determined to spoil Ash's in-ring comeback. In the end, Xia Brookside scored the pinfall over Heather by Elegance. The loss marked a setback for one half of the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions and handed Ash a defeat in her first match back. However, the Elegance brand quickly regained momentum, launching a post-match attack on the victors to close the segment on their terms. Professional wrestling typically revolves around each company's top champion. Although Juggalo Championship Wrestling went without a champion for a period, that changed tonight on Lunacy. Last week, Vince Russo announced that Mr. Anderson and James Storm would battle for the JCW Lunacy Championship. The promotion also unveiled a new title belt ahead of the match. Storm and Anderson headlined JCW Lunacy in a competitive back-and-forth main event. The Juggalo Championship Wrestling fans were engaged throughout, reacting to every major moment. In the end, Mr. Anderson captured the championship after striking James Storm in the head with the title belt. Following the bell, Anderson continued the assault, attacking Storm for several minutes before officials intervened and pulled him away. It was a chaotic and emphatic beginning to his reign as JCW Lunacy Champion. For all of our subscribers, don't miss the 9 a.m. Eastern video we dropped earlier today. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.